Hi everyone, and welcome to all my viewers and subscribers, and welcome to the April update video for the Little Henham 00 gauge model railway. It's been quite a busy month for construction on the layout, and I shall now take you through what is new on the layout, and hopefully you'll like what I've done. So let's take a look. Okay, first up this month is I've been adding shops to the high street, and in the slowly expanding row of shops we have a brand new Bachmann Scenecraft model, Mars Menwear. This has been added into the row next to what will be Midland Bank. The menswear shop is a ready-made. I haven't scratch built this one, but I am yet to put the pavement in front. The bank itself, I have now enhanced this with some figures inside, and once complete this will actually have a counter in it as well. You might be able to just see through the windows there the beginnings of the counter at the back, but once this is finished this will have a counter assistant and people paying in or withdrawing money, and obviously the safety glass which would go in front. The menswear shop itself, once I've put the pavement in, will be enhanced with figures outside, and I'll try and do some kind of shop display. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to keep this as a menswear shop. I'm thinking of turning this into a shop that sells something else, possibly an antique shop or a second-hand hardware shop, something like that. But I think I'm going to change it from the menswear status that it is. I've had some really good suggestions coming in from some of my subscribers for different types of shops, so I think I'm going to probably adapt this to become something else. Next to it, as you can see, I've half finished a scratch build shop, which I will turn into something which has been suggested by the subscribers. As I might have mentioned in my question and answers video, I am building this shop using traditional artist's mounting board glued together to make the frame, onto which will be the brickwork and then the doors and windows added. Once all three buildings are finished, I will then add in the pavements to run along the front, and that will be a little bit more of the back scene, which is then completed. All in all, it's coming along quite nicely, and this scratch built shop again will, as I say, will be turned into something suggested by the subscribers, possibly a hardware shop like Open All Hours, or again an antique shop, and somewhere along here as well there will be a Woolworths. One of the subscribers suggested a Woolworths store, so that too will be added into the lineup. Okay, moving on from this, we'll move further up to the high street and show you another feature which I've added in this month. Hopefully the effect has come out quite well, but I'll leave that up to you, the viewers, to comment on and let me know if you think it looks right. Okay, moving up as far as the wedding shop, I have added a figure in, bringing some goods out the back of the wedding shop storeroom, and as you can see there he has some pre-wrapped wedding presents, and he's just waiting for the van to turn up to load them in, and then they'll be taken off to some happy event. If we move along here, we have my Thomas's shop, and then the new feature this month is this alleyway. Okay, along the backboard I had a little bit of a space, and I wanted something other than just another building in here, just to break up the scene a little bit. So what I've done is I've come up with the idea of putting this alleyway here. The way this has been created is, looking down the far end of the alleyway, I have put a back scene on the actual board, which again stands just a little bit proud of the board to give the idea of depth. To the side of the house that you can see, I then cut out plasticard brickwork in the shape of the sides of houses, into which I've added obviously a advertisement on one side, and then on the other I've added a door, some steps and a chimney and a window. If I just tilt the camera a minute, you'll see the chimneys. Again, the chimneys have been built as standalone objects, and they are stuck onto the actual buildings and not the backboard, so they are fully formed chimneys. Moving the camera down slightly, you will see that I have tried to give the illusion of the alleyway going into the distance. By doing this, I have made the fences either side by getting two bits of plasticard fence and cutting them at an angle, wide at one end and narrow at the other, to give the impression that the fence runs away into the distance. Again, this, or one of the panels, has been applied with a advertising sign. This in turn was cut in a way, wide at one end, narrow at the other, to give the impression that the sign is long and again starts to trail into the distance. The figures I've used here are N gauge figures rather than 00, and there is actually a Z gauge figure there right at the very back in the white. Again, the impression is to try and give an idea of people being in the distance. So rather than use 00, I've used N gauge figures. And then to finish it off, there is a bollard in the middle. If I zoom in on the window, you'll see that I have applied a couple of figures up here. There is one leaning out of the window, and there is one sitting on the top of the roof. Again, the one sitting on the roof is actually sitting on proper tiles, which I'll show you in a minute. If I zoom backwards, the only addition to add to this, which I haven't got at the moment because it's not painted, is there will be a ladder which will come off the side where the man is sitting on the tiles, leading down to the pavement. Looking at it from a slightly different angle, you can see that in actual fact the alley doesn't go that far back, and there we go, there's the gentleman sitting on the tiles. In the backyard by the door, I took some steps off a signal box kit, cut them down and added them to the back door, and once again added in an N gauge figure coming out of the back door. I throw it open to you, my viewers and subscribers, just to let me know whether you think this technique actually works to give the impression that it's meant to. I think it's come out quite well, but I'll be interested to see what other people think. As I say, it's supposed to be a bit of a back scene break, and obviously to give the illusion of distance, but I'll leave that up to you guys to let me know whether you think it's worked or not. In addition to the alleyway, I've also added yet another shop in the lineup. This in turn only really needs the roof finishing, which I'll have done by the next video. And again, I am in two minds into what to turn this into. Either the old bakery or a shop for sale. As you can see, it's quite white and dusty, and I've left it like that deliberately to give the impression of it's not been used for a while. So once I finish the roof on that, this shop will be complete. But it could be a bakery, it could be a shop for sale, or anything else that I may come up with. This is obviously a scratch built shop using my artist mounting card technique. This is not a shop built, a bought shop even. God, try and say that quickly. But yeah, again, this is another one for the lineup. And if we just pan across, you can see how this makes the scene up. You've got the greengrocers, the butchers, possibly the bakers, the alleyway, Thomas's department store, and on the corner the wedding shop. So at the moment that is all I've done on my high street this month. The little alleyway took a little while to create because I had to get it kind of right. There was a couple of incidents where it wasn't going as I planned, so I literally ripped it all out and started again. Now I shall show you just some of the other things that have been added to the layout. On the platforms I've added some more flower troughs. These are ready made. I bought these at the Ali Pali Model Railway exhibition this year. They're really nicely detailed, nicely coloured. So I have one there, and we have one there as well. I'd already added in a couple of these. We've got one near the bookstall and the footbridge. And there's also one down the opposite end of the station, just by the station signboard. I've also added in a couple of more figures this month. We've now got a lady waiting for a train, and also a gentleman. As the months go on, I'll be adding more and more figures, and obviously more and more detail as well. Turning to the other end of the layout where the school is, this month I am starting to do little bits and pieces to here to try and bring this on a bit. I still have a blank area at the end of the layout. Again, I am thinking about what to put in here. But the other day on the corner, in readiness for whatever may be here, I have already added in a letterbox on the corner of the street. Once again, this area does look a bit barren at the moment. It's only because I'm doing work on it, but once it's finished it will have a lot more vehicles on it, and obviously a lot more figures to bring it to life. Now we will turn to this month's main development, and the one which has taken most of my time to develop, and that is my new park scene. Hope you enjoy.